Another way that you can filter the data is by getting a range. So like right here, we just have a list of 1, 2, and 3, but what if we wanted a range from 1 to 3 or something like that? Uh, a better example would be I'm going to filter by the list price. So we're going to say list price between, so that's the keyword that we're going to use, between. We'll say 149.99 and 199.99. So if I run this, I'm also gonna order by list price. So now you can see that everything we have here is between 149.99 and 199.99. But you can also see that it's inclusive, meaning that the lowest value is equal to what we're searching between, and same for the highest value. So if you didn't want to get this value, 149.99, then you would have to change this to 150. And just like with in, because you can do in or not in, you can also do between or not between. So now we're going to get everything other than these records. So yeah, it's going to be everything else. So if we're getting a range, it makes sense that we would use numbers. And these are just like regular numbers, but we can also use dates. So you can search like a range in time. But I'm going to need to use a different table to show you that. So we're going to look at sales dot orders, I think. Let me look at this table. Yeah, okay, so we use the order date. So I'm going to say where order date between, and so the way that this works is first you're going to do the year. So I'm going to say 2017, and then it's two numbers for the month. So I'll say January, and then it's two numbers for the day of the month. So I'll start with 16. Oh, and this needs to be in between like single quotes like this. And 2017, January 17th. So let's see if that works. And then I'll do a order by order date. So that'll make more sense. All right, and so we can see January 16th and January 17th of 2017. Okay, so up to this point, we've mostly just been filtering data based on numbers. And you can also filter based on text or strings. And the easiest way to do that is with the keyword like. So I'm going to switch tables to, let's see, sales.customers. And yeah, so okay, so like first name, last name, these are strings. It's just text. So let's say, all right, so we're gonna look at the we'll look at the last name. Where last name, and then the like keyword, like. And then you're going to put this in quotations. And so one example is I'll say Z and then the percent sign. And so, okay, so this percentage right here, this is called a wildcard. And so what that means is the last name is going to start with the letter Z, and then anything after it, it can be any combination of letters. So you can see that here in the last name. They all start with Z, and then this means that it can be anything after that letter Z. Wherever this wildcard character is, that's going to signify where you can have any combination of letters. So right here, since we have it after the Z, you can have anything after the letter Z. The name's going to start with Z. But you could do it the other way, where you could have whatever you're looking for, or yeah, you could have whatever you're looking for, and then any combination of letters before that. So then it would end in, we'll say, ER, like this. So now, the last name, it can start with anything, but you can see in each of these records, it ends in ER. So you can put this wildcard character, this percentage symbol, you can put it anywhere in here. So we've seen it at the beginning, and we've seen the wildcard at the end, and you can put it in the middle. So you could do something like T. Let's say we're looking for a last name that starts with the letter T and ends with the letter S, and you can have anything in between there. And that's what we're getting. Travis, Thomas, Travis. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so another wildcard character that we can put in here would be an underscore. And so how that works is like the percentage sign is any combination of any number of letters, whereas the underscore is only going to be one letter. So for last name, if we say underscore and then a U and then the percentage sign, that's going to mean that we have one letter of anything and then a U and then any number of letters after that. So basically this just means that the second letter of the last name is going to be U. And there you go. Burks, Duncan, Butler. Yeah, they all match that. So the underscore can be one letter of anything, but what if we wanted to be more specific than that? So we can open up brackets like this, and we can put a list of things in here. Like, what if we wanted the last name to start with Y or Z, and then any combination of letters after that? So yeah, Yang, Zimmerman. So that works kind of like in, because we learned in between. It's just a list of things within a string that you're looking for. So if you just put letters in between the brackets, that's just going to be a list of letters that you're looking for, but you can also make it a range. So, and by doing that, you just use the dash, like A through, we'll say C. So last name starting with A, B, or C, because it's A through C. So yeah, B, 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 A, C. There's another symbol that you can put in these brackets to basically, it just negates what you're doing. So, like if I change this A to X, then the last name can start with anything from A to X. So it's going to be everything except for Y and Z. You're never going to see a last name in here that starts with Y or Z. But what if I put this little caret symbol? I don't actually know what that symbol's called. It's Shift-6 on Windows. I think most people call that a caret. But if you put that in there, then it's just the opposite of what you're doing. So now you're not going to get A through X. So now the only last name you're going to see is going to start with either Y or Z. Yang, Zimmerman, Yates, yeah. So the little caret symbol negates the list or range that you are looking for. You use it with the brackets. But likewise, you can just negate the entire wildcard. Like we did with not like or not between. Excuse me, we did it with not in or not between. You can also do not like. So now the last name is just not going to start with a. Here, I'll do an order by last name. And so, yeah, you can see that it's going to start with B, and it's going to go all the way to Z. Okay, so we've covered filtering data, and now we're going to move on to joins. But there's one thing that I need to explain before we actually start writing joins, and that is naming columns or giving them aliases. So if I do, let's say, yeah, we'll use this table here. Select star from sales.customers. So I'm getting a heading first name, and that's just because, like, for any of these, first name, last name, email, whatever, it's naming that just based on the name of the column in the database. But you don't actually have to return it like that. You can call them whatever you want. And a good example of why you might do something like that is, let's say you wanted the full name, like combine the first name and last name for each of these records. So we'll say select first name, and then we'll add in, this is called concatenation. We'll put a space right here in between these quotes, and then we'll also do last name. All right. So we're getting the full name of everybody in this table, but now in the heading, there's no column name because it doesn't know what to call it. So to fix this, you can just put the keyword as. So we'll say as full name and execute, and now we're getting full name. Now I'm using an underscore right here because you can't use spaces if you do it like this. If you want to use spaces, then you can use a single quote, and now you can do full name with a space, and now that'll work. Okay, and you don't actually have to use the as keyword right here. So let's say I'm gonna get rid of all this, and I just want the first name, but I want to be able to call it, let's say F name. Yeah. Okay, so when I run it like that, it's going to bring it back as F name. But I can refer to this as either of these that I want. So let's say I do order by. So in the order by, I can do first name. And it's, yeah, so now it's just organizing it. But I don't have to call it first name. I can also use the alias if I want and say order by F name. And that's not going to change anything. It's going to be the exact same.